students, I welcome you once again in the classes of chemistry. Today we start the chapter 2 of chemistry book, that is changes in the world around us. The first topic is introductions. The change is a very common word for us because every day we came across different kinds of changes in our life and we are familiar with these words. There are a lot of changes occurs in our surroundings, such as a child grows up into an adult, mature adult, the seedlings develops into a large tree, the puppy develops into a dog, a kitten develops into a cat. There are so many examples of the changes. But do you know what changes are actually? Can you define change? A change can be defined as any alterations in physical and chemical properties of the matters due to certain external force or energy. Now, the second topic, that is classification of changes. What is classification? The classification means organizations of things in a systematic order on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities. And it is in our blood or nature, wherever we are, we try to organize things on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities so that our work become an easier one in that field. So there are innumerous numbers of changes in our surroundings. We cannot count them properly actually. So it is very useful for us to classify all the changes in their similarities and dissimilarities. And classification can be classified, changes can be classified in various ways. And some are as first the natural classification and natural change and artificial change. Natural change and artificial change can be classified on the basis of their origin. There are some changes which occurs in the nature on its own, which are called natural changes, such as change of weather, change of atmosphere, day change into night. Okay, these are the certain examples of the natural change. These changes occurs on their own. On the other hand, there are some changes which occurs due to the activities of the human beings, which are called man-made changes or artificial changes, such as cooking of food, construction of bridges, construction of buildings, etc. Next, change, that is desirable and undesirable change. Now, changes can also be classified on the basis of their usefulness and harmfulness. That means those changes which are useful to us are called desirable change. For example, cooking of food is an example of desirable change. Burning of food as a fuel for cooking as examples of desirable change. On the other hand, there are some changes which are harmful to us, such as burning of wooden furniture is examples of undesirable change. Next, there is periodic change and non-periodic change. Now all changes can be classified on the basis of their repetitions. That means there are some changes which repeat itself at regular intervals of time and some doesn't. And on the basis of that, all the changes can be classified into two categories. One is periodic change and other one is non-periodic change. Now, what is periodic change? Those changes which repeat itself after a regular interval of time is called periodic changes. On the other hand, those changes which cannot repeat itself, it occurs at any time, that is called non-periodic changes. For examples of periodic changes such as day changing to night after regular interval of times, after 2 or 3 months a season changes. These are the examples of periodic changes. On the other hand, the examples of non-periodic changes such as eruptions, volcanic eruptions, okay, tsunamis, flood. These are the examples of non-periodic changes. The next, that is fast and slow change. Now we can also classify all the changes which occur in our surroundings on the basis of their durations in which they are changed. And on the basis of that, all changes can be classified into two categories, that is fast change and slow changes. Now what are fast change? All those changes which occurs in a very rapidly or very fastly or a very small period of time or a small duration of time is called fast changes. For examples, burning of fuel, burning of food are the examples of fast changes. Whereas there are some changes which occurs at very slower rate. It takes a long period of time, such as pedogenesis, that means the formations of soils. Even our growth. A little child develops into a mature adult. It is examples of slower change. The next example, the next way of classification, that is physical and chemical change, and that is on the basis of their nature. Okay, there are some changes in which the physical as well as chemical properties of the matter changes, and as a result new substances are formed, and these changes are called chemical changes. Whereas there are some changes in which no new substances are formed, only the physical properties of the matter gets changed, and which can be reversed back to its original form just by changing the conditions are called physical changes. Now, examples of chemical changes, like cooking of food is a kind of chemical changes, because once the food cooked, it cannot be convert or change into its former forms by even changing the conditions. Growth of our body is examples of chemical change. Chemical reactions in which new substances are produced are the examples of chemical changes. On the other hand, examples of physical changes like evaporation, boiling, melting are the examples of physical changes, because this change can be reversed back to its original form by just changing the condition or reversing the conditions. Now, one more way of classification of change, that is reversible and irreversible change. That is on the basis of their converting into their forming forms or reverse back to their ability of reverse back to their original forms by changing of conditions. And now what is reversible change? There are some changes which can be reversed by changing of condition is called reversible change. For examples, most of the physical change are the examples of reversible changes. On the other hand, there are some changes which cannot be reversed back to its original forms or former forms by even changing the conditions are called irreversible change. Examples are, most of the chemical changes are irreversible changes. That is all for now. Thank you.